Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm here with Vladimir Matyushenko, who'll be facing Joey Beltran on April 11th. 11th. That's right. I got it down. So you were here at Dynamics Martial Arts, and you were training with Antony Hardonk. You've been doing this for a long time with Antony, yeah?
Yeah, long enough. I think 15 years now.
Are you still learning new things?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I'm still in this game so far, because learning. I think as soon as you're done learning, you're done.
So you're coming off a win over Houston Alexander. How good did that feel? It was a unanimous decision for you.
Yeah, definitely. It feels great after a few losses, and that's why continue to fight. I want to retire on my losing streak, and also it was feeling great because it was a long fight, and it was a test for myself. Am I still good for good 3-5-minute rounds?
And what did you find out about yourself? Obviously, you were good to make it all the way through, but was there anything else that you feel, really specifically successful about in that fight?
Yeah, definitely. It's like everything else. Every time you fight, you kind of check yourself. Does this work? Can you still make weight? Can you still, go all the way through 3-5-minute rounds? Is that technique work? Is that technique work? So everything was working, except broke my hand, and I hit it right, but things happen.
These things happen. So how long did that take to heal up, and how do you feel now? Obviously, you're going to have to use it again.
Yeah, I have to use it again. I'll be very careful. And it was taped right. It was, but again, it feels great. It took me a few months, and it was. I hated it, not just because of the cast, but also I realized you can't really do any kind of workout because it's sweat inside, and you have to change it and stuff like that. So it's not very pleasant.
Could you hold a beer though?
No, it actually lost some weight because the eating habits. I can eat with one hand, but I can't eat sushi, for instance, with my left hand. It doesn't taste good. I can't drink beer with my left hand. It doesn't taste good.
I've been out to sushi with you, and I didn't notice it was all right-handed feeding.
Yeah, it's all right-handed feeding, and I can't eat with my left, but not certain things.
Wow, those are first-world problems, Vlad.
Yes.
So let's talk about this fight with Joey Beltran. What did you think of his bout with Rampage?
Well, I think they may stop a little earlier. I think he won, actually, first round. Of course, Rampage is a very powerful guy, and he's fast, and if he hits you right, you're going to go down. And I think, Beltran did good the first round, and it was weird. He got knocked out the last second, I think, of the round. It was not, very fortunate for him, but I think it was a good fight.
Yeah. So was there anything, it's funny, Joey is somebody who, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but is not that hard to figure out. Joey's going to stand there and trade with you. So is there other, nuances to the game that I'm missing here with Joey?
No, I think it's pretty much it, and he says for himself. But again, it doesn't make it easier. It's still hard work. He always comes forward. He always in good shape, and he's not afraid getting hit or hit you back. So, it definitely makes it harder. Not as far as strategy and stuff like that. You already know what's going to happen, but it's still going to happen. If it's like a big car coming towards you, it's coming, but what are you going to do, run away or avoid it or whatever? It's your problem, but I think he's coming strong.
Well, you're obviously a very strong wrestler, though. Is that something that you'll employ, maybe more takedowns in this fight?
Yes, definitely. Takedowns will be much, helpful. But and again, in his fight against Rampage, he did great as far as wrestling goes. So I don't know. I would like to knock him out very fast. That'll be, like any fighter likes to do that. But if I have to go on the ground, we'll go on the ground. That's no problem.
So how many fights did you sign for with Bellator? How long are you going to keep doing this?
Well, I think after this fight, they're supposed to put me in a tournament and stuff like that. But honestly, and not a lot of people know that, but I'm probably going to be retired after this fight. It's not probably 99.9% sure. Doesn't matter I win or lose. I'm 43 years old, and everybody's asking me this question, when are you going to retire, including my family. And I just want to save it for my family, for the future, and actually for the future fighters. I want to save myself to train other guys and put my effort to MMA as a coach more than a fighter.
How long have you been thinking about it? As you mentioned, you had a little hard times there where you had a couple of losses and you were able to come back and beat Houston. But did you consider it at all during that time?
I consider it a few times in my life.
Since 10 years ago.
Since 10 years ago. And shortly. I mean, I retired for a short time from UFC back in the days, and I come back with IFL, which is still my short. I just found it in my closet.
Still fits. Look at you.
Still fits. And you know, after IFL, I was thinking too, going away, I'm done. And then UFC make me offer, and I was like, why not? And actually, I did well. I surprised myself. But I think it's time. 43. I'm not going backwards. I'm going older and older.
Right. But you know, you've got other things that you could be doing. Like you said, you'll be coaching and.
Yes, I'm not done with MMA. I'm done with professional, be competing in the fighting. It's like racing cars. I'm not done with with MMA. I'm just done with be competing professionally.
I'm curious what you think too. You have such a great perspective over it now. It's amazing when you see, you know, guys used to be great at something. You came in as a wrestler, learned all these other things, and put it all together. Nowadays, you see a kid who's 20 years old, who's been training in all the disciplines and is already phenomenal. I mean, what have you seen in terms of the evolution of the sport and how good the athletes are now?
Yes, it's totally complete difference. You know, when I start the fighting, and I myself was training wrestling, just wrestling, jiu-jitsu separate, boxing separate, and kickboxing came out. And now it's all like you said, mentioned the young guys that start, you know, because the sport already been developed, the coach has been developed. So, for instance, Anthony, he just not just teaching straight kickboxing. He's kickboxing for MMA. I teach wrestling. I not teach just wrestling. I teach wrestling just for MMA. So the sport evolved and changed. Not we changed sport. I agree with that, but it's also backwards. Sport changed us. It's changed me as a coach, as a fighter too.
Are there one or two fights, maybe three or whatever, that you look back on that you know, you say those are the definitive Vladdy fights, and those are the ones that you want to be remembered for?
No, I thought you said if it would be different, if it would be no more back then.
Oh, well, yeah. Who do you want to fight again? If you could go back in time, who would you fight
back in time? I think against Tita, I'd be doing great. I didn't know how to get around, you know, sweep him from the guard, and he was just sitting in my guard and just, you know, throwing punches, just sweep him or just get up on your feet. Right now, you can see a lot of fighters just getting up easily from the bottom. You've been taken down and just get up, taken down, get up. So, you know, back in the days, you didn't know how to get up. So.
Well, and I have to say, at this point, there's no, and not that there was that night either, but there's certainly no shame in losing a fight to John Jones.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy's kind of good.
Yeah, and I lost to best. I think that I don't have too many losses in my career, and that's what I'm proud of. And I lost to John Jones and Gustafsson. I think those are the best fighters in the world, and so no shame to that.
Did you watch their fight? Who did you? If so, who did you think won?
Yeah, I saw the fight against John Jones and Gustafsson. I think it was one of the greatest fights out there. And actually, I talked to John afterwards, and yeah, he said he was concerned in the middle of the third round. He's like, wow. So I think it was a great fight, and I think it's also showed this great sponsorship from both of them. Having a cool picture, and both of them in the hospital and shaking hands, and I think it was great. That's why I think a sport it's a great thing.
Nice. So let me get back to that question then. If I had to show somebody, okay, this is Vladimir Matyushenko. I'm defining him in 2 or 3 fights. Which one should I show them?
Well, I'm going to divide 1, 2, 3. I mean, of course, I like quick knockout with Jason Brills, and not just because Jason Brills, he's my friend, but also because it was the biggest arena ever.
That was at Toronto at 129.
At 129.
There, that was great.
That was crazy. And of course, my long fights with TRT is 5-minute rounds. I hate those fights. I have a few of them over half an hour. That's not fun. Yeah.
Well, listen, Vlad, it's always been a pleasure talking with you, and you know, I think this fight with Joey, I think it's a good matchup for you. I mean, because you're going to get in there, and you're like you said, he's not afraid, but you've never been afraid to go in there and mix it up either.
Definitely, I've never been afraid, and even if it's my last fight, I'm going to put 200% in that and show all the fans what it's Janitor all about.
All right. Well, I thank you for everything that you've done over the years and all your dedication, and of course for the interviews. If you people have never seen it, you need to go back and find the interview where Vladdy and I went to the restaurant and had a little bit of vodka. Right.
We'll have it again.
Oh yes, in like T-minus 5 minutes. No, but seriously, really, your dedication is something that I think is very admirable, and I really just have a lot of respect for you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
All right. Good luck.